Welcome to One Real Estate's newest exclusive listing, 1433 Poplar Street. Located in Huntington. And right now we're going to go over the stats of this property. We're just over 2,500 square feet. We're sitting on a triple lot. Massive yard on this side, massive yard on this side that's completely untouched. A lot of opportunity with that. Massive pool, 20 by 40, detached two-car garage with a great big pad and fit a lot of cars out there. This is going to be one you don't want to miss. We tour outside. So right now we are in downtown Huntington, 1433 Poplar Street. So as you can see, we have a nice set of stairs going up to the front door. Mostly guests are going to be using that. You have great parking in the back. That's where you're going to be coming in most of the time. Cute lamppost, and it's cool because you get some like old school features of this house. As you could probably tell in the intro, this is an older home with a lot of character and charm. So we're gonna move now around to the second lot. And we've got a little bit of a hike uphill to get up here. Making sense of the family home, I can just see kids back here playing football, swing set back here, you name it. This is just a great lot for fun and family fun and friends. Out here, they have a basketball hoop. We'll go see all that. You got your beautiful brick chimney, and that brick looks brand new. I mean, that looks like it was put up yesterday. 3 seasons room back here. You've actually got 2, which is gonna be neat to see. There's just a lot of cool practical spaces for family to gather, have their own alone time, have their little chill sit down. So I love too these mature trees. It's nice and open space. You could technically probably sell this lot off if you really wanted to, but I love this space. You could fence this off at some point too. So yeah, that's the perks about having a second lot. There's just a lot of opportunity with what can be done with the property. And I love this. So, like you said, plenty of room for parking. You've essentially got, nearly this whole pad to yourself. This guy obviously shares part of that, but the vast majority of this is on the double lot and your property. You've also got a 2-car garage, but just for you to get an idea of the space, especially since Poplar is a one-way street heading north. So with that being said, entering from either side of the alley is probably what you're gonna do most of the time, and you'll be walking to the back of the house. We're in a fairly desirable neighborhood in Huntington, very close to the schools, very close to downtown, very close to 24. And you look around, the neighbors' houses are very well kept. Beautiful, pristine homes that were built, 1900 or later in some cases. Okay, so one of the things you're immediately gonna notice is the pool behind me. And with the pool, obviously, the pool's in a little rough shape. The homeowners have already agreed to, they've got a quote done to fix the pool up. All it needs is a new liner. All of the pool equipment has been checked, it all works, but they are going to give concessions for that pool liner at closing. So they are paying for it, it's gonna be done, but it can't be done now because we're late in the year. It has to be done in the spring at this point. So that being said, that's the story on the pool. But the most important part is that it's here and it's a great entertainment space. So we've got this beautiful patio space back here, fit a bunch of furniture. I talked about the fact that this is like a cozy, warm family home, but it's also really great for entertaining. And you've got this double lot, you've got this great patio, pool, massive pool, and you've got more side yard. And the nice thing about this is you've got the side yard and it's all fenced in. So if you have kids, if you have animals, you're gonna be able to utilize this and allow them to come out here without having to worry about them. And it's really kind of incredible that you would get this much yard downtown somewhere. It's pretty neat. Last thing that I want to point out in this backyard is the raised garden. We've got a massive raised garden. I know that's kind of like all the rage right now. A lot of people doing raised garden beds. My wife loves them. My whole family loves them. They've been really getting into it. But a great gardening space over here as well. And your pool equipment's in the back. So the pool equipment, stepping back into the pool conversation, the pool equipment works. That's been checked out, that's fine. Only thing that needs replaced here is the liner. And that'll happen closer to the spring because we're just getting late in the year for it. Now we're gonna go into the garage. So now we're in the garage and we have a 2-car garage up here up front. And then we have this workshop built out towards the back here. So a lot of space, obviously we're moving. So there's gonna be some areas of the house where there's just a little bit of clutter with the moving that's taking place. But you can at least get a really good sense of the space that you get to have here. If you have a workshop, this is gonna be awesome. You have electricity and outlets everywhere, pegboard along that whole wall. So a lot of storage capabilities. And then we have more storage up here. So we're gonna go up in this attic space. It's a little dimly lit, but hopefully you guys can at least make that out. All right, so one of the things you're gonna notice in this house is there's like a lot of cozy little spaces. And I like to think of these as like little scenes. And this is definitely one where you walk in and you just wanna sit down and relax. I don't know for a fact, but this may have been the front porch at one point and it was just closed off and finished off really nicely. The way they're using it is kind of like a home office right now. You've got some really cool French doors leading you into this, as you saw. And it's just a really cozy, inviting space. I love the greenery in here, tons of natural light. All right, so now we're coming back into the living room, and I'd like to point out some really key features in here. So for one, this is the main entrance, and there used to be French doors here. They actually still have the French doors. Part of the project that they were doing was stripping the paint off of all this wood. And as you can tell, it's really beautiful wood. It's like pristine. Same thing with those doors. They just haven't finished it yet. They're leaving the doors the way they are. They're upstairs in the garage. But this is a key detail that I wanted to point out was this trim work. And it really goes all around the house, and you'll see some more of it, but wherever you see this really dark wood like this, just know they stripped it, and it looks really good. So that being said too, another really cool detail that you're getting in this older home, this home was built in the 1920s, and one of the things that you see, just a cool craftsmanship detail, but you have these, the floor is inlaid in this square pattern to the point where it gets to just a little square here in the middle of the room. So that's really neat to see and point out, something that you're obviously not gonna be able to see in the pictures. And as we pan around here, it's just such a cool, cozy, inviting space. They raised kids here, and they said they'd have 10, 12 boys in this living room, and they'd have movie night here, and it really is kind of set up like that. It's a really cool family space, but it's also a really cool, just like formal living area. Maybe you don't have a family, but you just want this cool, cozy, maybe a little eclectic scene, and that's really what this space offers. So one of the coolest details, I think, is this fireplace. This fireplace is insane. You've got real marble here, tile, the stucco look, and then more of that really, really nice finished dark wood, once again, stripped down from them. And you've got this kind of moodier feel. There's not a ton of natural light in here, but it kind of just adds to the character of the space. As much as people always want natural light, this just has a certain vibe to it that would kind of take away from the mood. Now standing in the formal dining room, and this is a really large dining room. You'd easily fit a larger table here, maybe one for like closer to 10 to 12 people. Got a really nice chandelier, obviously. But one of the coolest features is this built-in window space right here. It's like a bay window kind of space. And once again, stripped the wood down. And if any of you guys are familiar with, the glass work or artwork in town, this was actually done by Lubkin, which is really cool. I went to school with the grandson of the gentleman who actually made that stained glass window, and that's still an operating space. Actually, it's right next to Davy's Delicious Bagels, if you guys are familiar with that. So now we're gonna go ahead and move into another living space. All right, and now we find ourselves in another really cozy living space. I feel like this is gonna be the space where most families just kind of land and end up hanging out. So we've obviously got all these windows letting in a ton of natural light. We've got the mature trees. We've got the pool to our side here. So this is just a really cozy, comfy living space. They've got a massive TV here in the corner. It all just works. Even the trim detail, this is obviously more of a new built-on area of the home. Even all this trim detail is flowing through from the rest of the house. So it's really cool to see how they finished this space off and made it feel really new. Now we're gonna move into the kitchen. The really cool thing about the kitchen is just all of the detail put into it. It was so meticulously thought out. So for one, you have a very specific artistic style here when it comes to the walls. The walls are actually like a mineral and a stucco, and so it's not paint. This is very tedious and has a very artistic touch to it. So that's worth really pointing out. It doesn't matter how much you chip at this. If you have kids, whatever, the color will never go away because it's not paint. It's literally built into essentially the concrete mix that stuccoed the wall. That same technique that's on the walls is actually on the ceilings as well. And I want to point out just the color palette. The color palette is so neat. It kind of, as you go through the house, you get this eclectic sense that there was just love and attention and detail poured into the home. We have other really cool details. So for one, we're kind of got an eat-in kitchen space. We've also got this really cool, like old, it might be the first phone ever, hanging on the wall. Just a really cool, fun space. So there's some really kind of cool, quirky features, I guess, of the house that we didn't get to see really. And one of them is off the front entrance, there's stairs right here. But also in the kitchen, it also leads up to the same set of stairs that leads upstairs. Another really cool feature is actually this pivot door that you're standing in right now. And once again, they stripped that to match that darker themed wood running throughout. Lastly, on this floor is the half bath behind this door. So, and that's really cool because they kind of outfitted that to kind of match the kitchen setting. So, all right, with that, let's go upstairs. On the upstairs landing, just came upstairs, and we're gonna go into the bedroom right behind you. That is the bunk room, and it's a really large space. This is probably the largest room up here. Obviously, you fit bunk beds in here. You could probably put another set of bunk beds in here if you really wanted. Just a really good space, practical space for two people for sure. They have a decent sized closet. They're still living here, so they've got a lot of their stuff in the closets. We're not gonna open those up. But once again, too, a lot of natural light will be flooding in here. We've got some curtains that are closed, but just a good space overall. So now we're gonna go into the third bedroom. So this is what I'm calling bed 3. Bed 3 does not actually have any HVAC in here, so that's one of the things that you're gonna see here. However, they do have a wall unit put in here just to make sure things are cool in the summertime. But that being said, decent sized closet. We've got a full bed in here, so this is really a big enough bedroom to classify it as a bedroom. Just house being built in 1920. There's some quirks. There's some things that you might not otherwise get today's standard build. However, great space, obviously. We've got a full bed, gaming station, dresser drawer. It's a good size room. With that, let's go to the bathroom. And so this is the shared bathroom for all of the bedrooms. That being said, we've got some decent space in here, some nice, like a lot of hooks and things, making some convenience out of the space, especially since it's shared. We also have a double vanity setup. That's also key, especially, once again, sharing this bathroom with everybody up here. Another thing that I like to see is all the different storage. So storage here, we have the medicine style cabinet behind this mirror, which is really nice to see. And it's not like one of those little ones. It's really nice. It's a pretty large mirror. So some of the features here in the bathroom. One of the things I want to point out off the bat is in a 1920s home, you hardly ever get this much space in all of these rooms. This is just another large room. So this room does have the HVAC, all the other rooms do. But this is supporting a queen bed, furniture, has a decent sized closet. So once again, just a really good space in all of these bedrooms. They have chosen this room as the master, which makes sense because they have a walk-in closet here that goes back pretty deep as this furniture does. They have a queen bed set up here. However, you could definitely fit a king in here. My recommendation, not knowing much about decor, I would probably move this this bigger piece of furniture out of here if you were going to put a king bed in the space. I think it would start to get a bit tight. That being said, another large spacious room, just because you have this kind of like offset area here where you can put more furniture, you can put the TV over here. Yeah, this is a really good master space. Once again, a home built in 1920, to have this much space is a big deal. All right, so there's one more thing to shoot upstairs, and that is the attic. So you know how I love my storage in my homes. Okay, tons of storage, tons of opportunity. I can see you making this like kids' play area, or it could be used for what it's being used for right now, storage. You know, you've got pretty much the whole width of the house. It's covered by this attic, and it's finished off very nice for being what it is. Obviously, once again, they're moving out. They're trying to move some stuff around, but hopefully you're getting a sense for how big this attic space is and how nicely it's finished off. With that, let's finish the floor. If you've watched this far, thank you. And if you're interested or know someone who might be interested, click the link below and share our landing page. There you can find the full listing, explore amenities, and schedule a private showing. I'm Oleg Brown with One Real Estate. Thanks for watching.